Welcome to another episode of Right Click Print Money. This is the PGA and European Tour tips and picks show, making paper for the masses. I'm your host, Sports Guy Ty. You can find me on Twitter, as always, at Sports Guy Ty. With me, as always, my esteemed co-host, first T-Mac, who is at Trevor McIlwain on Twitter, and ShallowCal. You can also find him on the Twitters, at ShallowCal Golf. Gentlemen, good evening to you both. And ShallowCal, we're starting with you tonight. Podcast sauce, sir.
So I'm just coming off of the course for league play. I thought I'd stick with something a little refreshing after all the beers out there, so I just went with a classic Tito's on the rocks.
Nice and refreshing for an early spring in Michigan evening.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, T-Mac, what about you? Podcast sauce this week.
I guess I'm going to be in classic T-Mac form. I don't have anything tonight.
Not even water?
Not even water.
Producer, get that man a glass of water.
According to Fumi's dad, the water is free.
The water is definitely free. Well, I've got an old favorite tonight, Dos Equis, going with the Lager Especial. And for Koozie of the week, I dug hard and I tried to find a North Carolina Koozie for the Wells Fargo. I know I've got one in there somewhere, but I couldn't put my hands on it. So we're into wedding season with Koozie of the week. Dave and Courtney, October 13th, 2017. Holler.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Courtney and Dave. All right, well, we got another packed show tonight, fellas. As always, we're going to jump into recapping the Valspar Championship as well as the Tenerife Open, talk about our right-click print money winners from last week across PGA and European tours, bogeys of the week, and our weekend sweats. We're also, as we've been doing the past several weeks, going to preview both the Wells Fargo Championship as well as the Canary Islands Championship, the final leg of the 3 weeks in the Canary Islands and the European Tour. But first, pay the bills, ShallowCal. Tell them where they can find the show each and every week.
Each and every week, available Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Apple Podcasts. For those of you, unlike Trevor or T-Mac there with his Android, Apple Podcasts always has us covered. Also on YouTube, Sports Guy Ty still has the stash. See it, get it while it's still there before he
2
has
weeks.
to show it off for the baby pictures. My beautiful locks are also available in Trevor's very strong beard.
Strong beard.
As Sports Guy Ty said, we are all on Twitter at Trevor McIlwain, at Sports Guy Ty, at ShallowCal Golf, and then the show at Right Click Picks on the Twitter. We like to tweet out some sweats. Tweet us your picks, anything, interact, and we'll definitely have a comeback for you.
Hey, by the way, what'd you shoot tonight, ShallowCal? Never told us.
I don't know. I don't remember actually.
That good, huh?
No, not good. I sculled a couple sand wedges, which really took me out of competition for some skins, which really hurt me.
I know how that goes.
Yeah, it was tough.
How many rounds you played this spring, T-Mac?
4 rounds so far.
All right, how you swinging them?
I mean, how I usually play, which is awful, is pretty bad in the beginning. Then I start connecting pretty well, and that's even why they say if you ever get fitted for clubs, we should wait till the end of the year when you actually have worked out all the kinks. But I got a couple free clinics that I'm going to take over at Miles of Golf, couple things here and there, get back out there maybe once a week, and feeling good. The problem is it's fishing season, and every time I get the inclination to go golfing, I stare out that lake and take my pontoon out.
Competing priorities.
It's tough.
It is. A lot of good outdoor activities coming into form here in Michigan right about now.
Michigan over the next 6-7 months is it's unbeatable.
Absolutely. Well, I do believe I saw a new podcast review out there for us this week. T-Mac, do you want to do us the honors? And
of course.
Read them away.
We got a Apple Podcast review from AMH Florida. Great listen. Love the show. Keep it up, guys. Thank you, AMH.
Fantastic. So remember, leave us a review, Apple iTunes, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher. Drop some comments on the YouTube page. Tell us who you are, where you're from, what you like or don't like about the show, and we'll read one every single week. So keep them coming. Again, we love interacting with everybody. Love to hear what you're thinking. And hey, if you got any early leans this week, we're recording on a Monday for the first time this season. So we're going to publish late tonight, be out there Tuesday morning for everybody waking up. But if you got some early leans for the Wells Fargo or for the Canary Island Championships, hit us up on Twitter at RightClickPicks. Let us know which way you're going.
And if you can pronounce the names on the European Tour, I'd really like some pronunciations because I'm going to struggle tonight.
You know what I've been doing for about a year? I've actually, as I watch European Tour golf, I'm taking notes in my notes app, how the announcers are pronouncing all the names.
Phonetically, yeah.
Yep.
Smart.
It doesn't matter, man. I can speak a good bit of Spanish from having worked in the kitchen for 15 years. But anything else, that's completely out of my comfort zone, man. I can't do it. It's just I fumble over everything.
Well, how's your Swedish, Callow?
It's not sweet.
Not good.
So you won't be conversating with my boy Nicholas Lemke in one of my outright tips later on from Sweden.
No, but I do have another Nikolai on the card that I'm not going to getting the name.
Sir. Well, T-Mac has seen me snap into fluent Korean on a Vietnamese golf course before. One of the many languages that I sort of speak, but not really.
And she was so surprised she gave you a ice cream Snickers bar that she was literally keeping for herself and wouldn't let anybody else buy it because that was hers.
The very last one, and I was
last one.
so hungry. And my flawless Korean, of which I know about 9 sentences, really paid off there.
I was surprised because I did not know you knew any Korean.
I got a little Portuguese, a little Spanish in there as well, but that's about
You better
it.
have some Portuguese or you're in trouble. You're not going to.
Yeah, my Portuguese needs to get a lot better in a hurry, that's for sure.
Entiendo un poco de español.
Sí, muito bem. All right, well, we're going to jump back into the golf talk. Couple questions, one for each of you, as we've been doing each week for the past couple weeks here, past couple shows. This week, not necessarily pertinent to any big story in the world of golf. Couple softballs for you guys, but I think it'll generate some good conversation. So, T-Mac, we're going to start with you.
Okay.
As mentioned, keeping it simple. One golf course that you want to play in your lifetime, no restrictions.
Ooh, that is a great question. I think if I had a choice of any golf course with no restrictions, I would have to do, oh God, St. Andrews, I suppose. Go back to some Scottish heritage, go to St. Andrews. I know you can play it. You have to enter a lottery, or you can pay one of those people that basically have a spot already, an absurd amount of money. But yeah, St. Andrews I think would be fun. Hopefully it's not too windy of a day because I'm not very good in the wind. But I would just have fun out there. It's like when I was playing Whistling Straits. I played horrible, but how can you not just have fun on that course?
Oh, of course, taking in all the beauty, the surroundings. I mean, at St. Andrews, the history of golf with Swilken Bridge, Hell Bunker. I mean, that's just a good walk, even in the wind.
Absolutely.
What about you, ShallowCal? You had one course to play in your life, no holds bar. Which one?
Augusta National, hands down, no
Classic.
question.
That
Don't
was
even have to think twice about it. Augusta
that was
National.
rattling. That was rattling in my head.
There's no question about it. You can. I could save up a little bit of coin and go and play St. Andrews or Pebble or a lot of these courses. You don't get that opportunity to play Augusta National just from anywhere. So yeah.
So it's the exclusivity factor for you with Augusta more than anything.
I mean, not necessarily, but it. Growing up, we were of the age of watching Tiger Woods.
1997.
And that almost is kind of like the mecca for me and my young golf interests, and watching Tiger win tournaments there and the fist pumps and seeing him walk over the bridge and seeing him walk up 18 and seeing him making a 10 on 12 a couple years back. I want to do that. I want to make a 10 on that same hole.
You want to feel just a little bit like Tiger Woods on golf's grandest stage.
And if I'm not going to get a 10, I almost just want to blade a sand wedge back over the green into the water just so that I can get a 10.
Well, I had both those courses on my list. This actually isn't so simple of a question because there's so many options.
Right.
And much for the same reason both of you alluded to. I mean, I love the history of St. Andrews. I love the fact that so few people have played Augusta. But for me, I don't know. So either one of those would absolutely work. Seminole is a big one on my list as well. Again, kind of because of the exclusivity factor. I loved getting to see it on TV during the pandemic. Looked awesome. Cran-sur-Serre in the Swiss Alps, maybe my choice. Home of the European Masters, a Seve course.
Okay. So, I mean, it sounds beautiful.
Yeah.
And there's so many, I've played quite a few courses that are along water. And there are, there are those courses that are just going to be absolutely gorgeous, but,
like the Mekong.
Like I feel like you can really, really get that, if you wanted to next week. And kind of fly out there and play that.
Yeah, that's a good possibility. Let me throw one more at you, then we'll move on.
Okay.
Lofoten Links in Norway, 100 miles inside the Arctic Circle. 2 months out of the year, you can play golf 24/7 there.
What's the temperature in that 2 months?
I mean, I got to imagine that's their summer, right? If it's light 24 hours a day, but 100 miles inside the Arctic Circle, you're probably having daytime highs in like the 50s, I would guess, Fahrenheit.
Okay, I can handle 50 Fahrenheit. But I mean, if we're talking like, bitter cold, I mean, I'm sorry, only so much I'll do.
Yeah, I agree.
And I like the cold. I'm a backer.
Yeah, tough to swing a club on a cold course, that's for sure. All right, ShallowCal, we got one question for you as well. Then we'll get into previewing some golfers. Actually, we'll get into recapping some tournaments and previewing some golfers. So sticking along the same vein, not necessarily a storyline in the world of golf, but if you could play with any foursome, past or present, who would it be?
So is that me and three others?
That's you and three others. You get to put together a foursome.
Tiger Woods, Michael Jordan, and dang, that's tough. Tiger Woods, Michael Jordan, and let's go with Steve Yzerman.
Stevie Y. He swings the sticks pretty well, huh?
I've seen Stevie Y swing a stick before. I know he can do it. But Jordan, I would want to gamble with. Tiger, I would just watch play. And Stevie
Maybe
Y.
like clean his clubs for him a little bit or something.
I would definitely clean Tiger Woods' clubs if we were playing together. I'd be like, hey, I would actually run ahead of him and grab the divot so that he didn't have to.
Hey, let me get that for you.
Yeah, I would do it. Just let me play with you, buddy.
What about you, T-Mac? You get to play with three other people in the ultimate foursome. Who's it going to be?
Charles Woodson.
Okay.
Brett Favre. Aaron Rodgers.
Is Chuck a good golfer?
I don't know, but yeah, he's good company. Charles is good company.
he's got some game. I follow
Aaron
him.
Rodgers is a good golfer for sure. I have no idea, but Brett Favre's just gonna be one of the good old boys, just a good guy to have a beer with. Charles Woodson, he's got a vineyard, so maybe bring some of that wine and just my all-time favorite football, college and pro. And then Aaron Rodgers, the competitive nature in him, I think he'd kick my butt, but I'd like to have him out there, and it'd be fun to see the interactions between those three.
Charles Woodson's actually got a bourbon line out now.
I'm gonna have to get that immediately.
He could actually sponsor the show if you could work that. As owner of the Packers, you should.
I do have a few shares. Let's see what I can do.
See if you can name drop for us.
I will. It would have worked better if my grandfather was alive.
True. Well, actually, speaking of that, so let me jump into my foursome.
Okay.
Arnold Palmer right off the top. The
Okay.
king. Absolutely respect what he's done for the game of golf. Love the way he grew it, commercialized the game to really bring in the everyman and take golf from the stuffy country clubs really out into the public. Also a Wake Forest grad. My dad played football there. My sisters are grads. We're big Demon Deacons. Arnold Palmer, number one. Speaking of grandparents, next would be my grandma Ginge. She was a hell of a golfer in her own right. Actually had 3 holes in 1. Home course up at oh God, Buick Open. Why am I forgetting
Oh
it?
shit! Now I feel
Oakland
like a
Hills.
jackass. I should have picked my grandfather. What was I thinking?
Oakland Hills.
Sorry, I
Not
didn't mean to
Oakland
steal your thunder.
Hills.
Go ahead.
Not Oakland Hills, Warwick Hills Country Club. That was her home course for all of their retirement. Like I said, hell of a golfer. And by the time I was kind of golfing age and getting into the game, she had stopped playing. I think it'd be cool to play around with her. And lastly, I don't mean to get emotional here, but it would probably be one of my childhood best friends who passed away 13 years ago this September, a guy both of you know and loved as well. Wasn't a particularly great golfer, or honestly, even really a decent golfer. But much like he appreciated the smallest pleasures in life, he loved those little moments, kind of the in-betweens on the golf course, just bullshitting in the cart, drinking a beer, smoking a cig down to the very end, just enjoying every drag and every word that came out of his mouth or yours while he was doing it. So I guess really that's what I miss. The golf would just be a bonus, but be fun to take a swing around one more time with old Adrian.
He would
Yeah,
also
man.
he would also be the best looking person out on the golf course
Oh,
too.
Freshest
he'd have
every time.
Yep.
he'd have everything looking great. But man, I
Like,
feel
oh,
terrible about my choices now, Ty. You hit that out of the park.
But in fairness, I'm the one who makes the question, so I get to sit here and think about it as I'm driving to daycare and formulating my answers.
Okay. Okay. I'd
Yeah, so
love to play with Adrian again. That'd be fantastic.
that'd be a good round of golf. All right, well, let's give the people what they want. Let's do a quick recap, both Valspar Championship and Tenerife Open. Following that, we'll quickly run through our right-click print money winners from the week, weekend sweats, and bogeys of the week before jumping into previewing both the Wells Fargo Championship and the Canary Island Championship. Valspar first, boys. Bermuda Burns gets it done.
Surprised none of us had him because we usually, at least one of us do. And I don't know. I've been kind of on and off. I mean, he comes out of nowhere, and again, I'm happy for him, but I'm surprised.
God, he was for a while there, like much of golf Twitter, he was one of my just auto bets almost every week. I mean, the numbers were just so large, and the talent is immense, and you just knew it was going to come together at some point. And I was sure I was going to be on it until it happened last week.
Yep.
Keegan Bradley faltered down the end. Man, he had a hot putter for a couple days out there, but just couldn't hold it together on Sunday.
How about a bounce back from my boy Victor Hovland?
Yeah, Victor needed it on a Florida course. That was good to see. A tough Florida course, too. That didn't play as tough as it normally does.
Big Young Ho fan.
Yeah, I like Victor Hovland for several events upcoming. Wells Fargo is one of them, but I like Victor Hovland at the PGA Championship coming in here in a couple weeks as well.
Okay.
Yeah,
Go
I
ahead,
was I
Shelton.
was really sweating Keegan there for a little bit. I thought he was going to do it. He played really well this week. Good to see it. Good guy, good dude, relatable. Um, just just fell a little short there on was it 13, unfortunately, and that unraveled the entire magical weekend that we had going. But tough one.
There were a few momentum swings late on Sunday that went the wrong way for Keegan on the back nine.
Yeah, it was a long Sunday of letdowns for me, unfortunately.
No stranger to those.
I looked up and stepped out and caught Max Homa's drive on one, and he piped it right into the sand trap and in the fairway bunker, and I was from there just kind of let down pretty much the entire day. So, bummer. Whatever. That's what happens.
Yeah, on to the next. DJ, where have you gone? 2 under, T48. I really thought that DJ was going to be a bounce back this week. I thought this was the week he got the game locked back in, starting to get ready for the PGA in a couple weeks. Just doesn't look comfortable.
I just keep thinking to myself, this is one of the best golfers in the world.
So I faded him in betting for that reason. His form has just been off, but then I hedged that with playing him in fantasy golf, and he absolutely screwed me in that. So I'm not necessarily off the DJ train right now, but man, that was been a tough couple weeks for him.
It sure has. This was not the get right stop that he was looking for prior to Kiawah Island in a couple weeks.
No.
Well, we're confirmed the Valspar is back in March in 2022. Not as early in March as it had been prior to this year when it makes the move to late April, but it's going to be March 17th to 20th, and we're going to kind of get that traditional Florida swing back. The Players, followed by the Arnold Palmer Invitational, the Honda, and then Valspar slots in right back there at the end of that 4-tournament swing. I kind of like it. I like coming off the West Coast and getting into kind of the beginnings of hot and muggy Florida, some really tough courses. Valspar needs to be back in March.
I agree with you.
All right. Any other thoughts on the Valspar Championship before we wrap it up?
No, just a nice win from Burns. That was an impressive Sunday closing. He did not falter really at all those last few days. He was very solid, very impressive.
He had played the snake pit in 3 over going into Sunday, and with the lead, he just stared it down and executed. It was impressive. I mean, this is the breakthrough that we all knew was coming. We're just waiting on for Sam Burns. This is a guy that's going to be a force in a lot of tournaments here in the very near future.
Absolutely.
Bermuda Burns
on Bermuda greens, and he putted the lights out.
Oh my God.
All right, Tenerife Open recap. T-Mac, your first venture into the European Tour. First of all, did you watch any of it?
I actually didn't watch any golf this weekend. I was pretty busy Friday, Saturday, kind of packed my schedule, told all my clients that Sunday was booked. I ended up working a little bit. One client I had to fit in. I wasn't just going to say no. But then I went fishing all day. So didn't get to watch golf at all. I was looking at the updates, seeing that Victor Hovland was dancing around, but no European, no PGA.
You had to have taken at least a look at the leaderboard at some point Thursday morning and seen your boy Alexander Bjork.
Absolutely not. I had no idea. So he was at the top. Really?
Absolutely. I think he was either T3 or T4 after round 1, and he stuck around round 2 as well.
Well, what happened, Bjork? What the hell? I was counting on you. I was cheering you on.
All right, ShallowCal. Well, we'll let you go ahead and get it out of the way a segment early prior to right-click print money winners, because we've got another winner fried perch dinner.
Yeah, that was something, man. 9 under round 1. And I think he finished the tournament at 10 under, actually, which is kind of ironic in a little bit.
Old Thorborn was riding a roller coaster that weekend.
Old Thorborn Olesen comes in, connects on the first round leader, 45-1. I mean, that was a hell of a way to start a Thursday afternoon. Around 3 o'clock when everybody was kind of getting to those last 16, 17, 18, and you see them that are, 3 strokes back and they get to 18, you pretty much know that you're locked up, paid for the card plus some. It was definitely a nice start to the week.
And that's what, 3 first round leader tickets in a row for you?
That is, like Sports Guy Ty just said, 3 peanut butter crack sandwiches right in a row.
Why haven't bet anything else? Just bet those.
Yeah. I wish it worked that way, but I also hit 3 outright winners in a row back in early part of the year, and I haven't put that together quite like I thought it was going to work out after those. So
We had a hell of a run there through the Phoenix Open, the Genesis, and then both of you on Danny Berger the next week.
yeah, that was Koepka, Homa, and Berger, right
Yep.
back to back to back there. That was a good one. But yeah, did Just Olesen, Thorborn Olesen, or Just Liuten, Thorborn Olesen, and then Cam Smith backdoored T-Mac's boy, Stuart Sink, unfortunately. But yeah,
other boy.
Hell of a run. Well, big week for Burmy. Old Dean Burmester goes super low, 25 under to win the second leg in the Canary Islands, the Tenerife Open. We knew we were going to see low scores this week. Birdie fest for sure. John Catlin almost threatened that 59. I wasn't sure that we were going to get into the 50s. I thought we may see a 60 this week, but on Thursday he goes out in 30, then starts the back nine with 4 straight birdies, and it's on like Donkey Kong, right? He's 10 under at that point. Needs to get to I guess 12 under.
The most elusive number in golf, right? That was really impressive. I was also impressed with Burmeister on just how he almost stayed the course steady. He was like what 8 under, 9 under, or something like that through the last three days of the tournament. I mean, he was just consistently fantastic.
Yeah.
The
And
entire
he
time.
busted out the big stick on Sunday too. He left no doubt.
Yeah, 25 under par. That's damn impressive. I don't care if you're on a Muni and you're playing 4 rounds. That's a hell of a number.
No doubt. And Scott Jameson sets the course record with a 61 on Friday. I think that's back in play this week for round 2 at Golf Adage. But we'll talk that upcoming when we preview Canary Island Championship next. From here, we go to right-click print money winners, weekend sweats, and our bogeys of the week. ShallowCal, you started us off with a winner fried perch dinner on the Thorbjorn Olesen first round leader. Anything else for you this week, sir?
I had Joaquin Neiman top 20. So that was the only other one that I had, and I had started out Sunday looking incredibly good for a monstrous weekend, but somehow that is the only other winner fried perch dinner I ended up with.
All right, T-Mac, right-click print money winners for you.
Yeah, I had Victor Hovland at top 5, 4-1 bet on that. Victor Hovland, I laddered him at a top 10 at 2.25 to 1, and then I had Louis Oosthuizen at top 10, 3-1 bet.
Hell of a backdoor by Louis Oosthuizen to cash that ticket because it didn't look good Thursday and Friday.
No, but he came on strong and looked really good. Good form.
Well, 0 right-click print money winners for me this week across both the PGA Tour and the European Tour. Second time that's happened to me this year, unfortunately. Comes on the heels of a hell of a week last week, too. One of my best, not necessarily in terms of numbers, but just total golfers going through and, man, came up flat.
You were on quite a heater, though, there for the past couple of weeks, so little cool-off wasn't out of the realm of possibility.
Had to bounce at some point. Luckily, I at least kept the cards on the more manageable end, so it wasn't a massive unit hit to the total.
Yeah.
Okay, how about some weekend sweats? T-Mac, back to you.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest weekend sweat for me would have been Victor Hovland. It would have been nice for him to take it down and beat Burns. I had an outright ticket on him at 20-1, but otherwise there wasn't a whole lot of sweats. I had some guys who were dancing in and out, but no real good first round leader tickets or anything like that. So,
ShallowCal, how about your weekend sweats? We know a couple of them.
Well, we started Sunday with Max Homa and Keegan Bradley tied 4 or 1 back from the lead, and that just did not happen, unfortunately.
Had it surrounded.
Like I said, after Homa just started driver fairway bunker, I was I was like, oh, he's not going, the patented max home of 5 under through the first nine and just, blazing past everybody. And then Keegan Bradley just fell apart on 13 and double bogey. Did birdie, I believe, the next hole, but then gave it right back, and it was just over from there.
Yep. Not a whole lot of sweating for me either. I was basically drawn dead on Sunday for Euro. I didn't have anybody once Mr. Ollison decided very early he was going the wrong way. It was over for me over in the Canary Islands. Louis Oosthuizen gave it a little bit of run, as mentioned, cashed that top 10 for T-Mac. I had an each way on him, needed him to get to 6, and he fell one shot short of that. Same goes for Joaquin Niemann. He backpedaled a bit on the weekend, particularly on Sunday, finished one shot out of the place. So a couple sweats on place money for me. No outrights really contended this week, which leads us directly into bogeys of the week. ShallowCal, you first.
Scotty Scheffler, man, I had him up and down my board this week, and he had a couple. Well, first off, his first round was horrific. He had a great second round. He had a good third round, and then just bombed out his fourth round again. It was just not a good week for Scotty.
No. How about you, T-Mac? Where'd you miss this week?
I would say Patrick Reed didn't make the cut, and I was expecting a lot more out of him. Taylor Gooch let me down as well. I thought Taylor Gooch was right for this tournament. I should have probably gone with my boy Tringale.
That would have been a good play. Chingrale might be live this week too.
Yeah.
I also was on Patrick Reed. I seem to find him on these events. He misses the cut, and then I miss the big bounce back the next week. I'm not going to get bit by that twice. I'll tease that for my card later on, but definitely a bogey for me this week. Misses the cut. Russell Henley, again, a super chalky, super trendy pick going into the week. Just a complete and total letdown. Doesn't even get to play Saturday. And then Connor Syme on the European Tour. Definitely a longer shot at 66-1, but the way he played the week prior in Canary Islands, was expecting a little bit more from him. He was my only missed cut on the European Tour. Just didn't have a whole lot of guys near the top of the leaderboard in that group that made it through. Okay, so yeah, as you can probably tell, not a good weekend up and down the cards for us. ShallowCal, though, does finish in the positive thanks to that first round leader hit on the European Tour. Up 16.82 units in Euro. Do I have that right?
I believe it was actually because I believe Jazz J withdrew, did not
Oh,
play.
sure didn't.
So I got that 1 unit back. So it's actually, instead of a -1 unit, it's just getting that back. So 18.82 units up.
Not bad, sir. Tougher weeks for T-Mac and myself. 2 of the 3 of us remain in the positive for the year. ShallowCal up, I guess that's going to put you up closer to about 34, 35 units for the year.
Yeah, about 34 units for the year.
All right. And if after my big step back on both tours, I'm up 69 units for the year. T-Mac, you want me to say your number?
I got it. I'm down 83 units so far, so not looking good, but we need a big bounce back.
Hey, and there's some opportunities upcoming. This tournament in particular is one of them, I think, for a long shot potentially.
Okay.
All
His
right.
name's James Holmes, by the way.
Well, let's get right to it. Wells Fargo Championship, gentlemen. We are at Quail Hollow Club in Charlotte, North Carolina. First time contestant since 2019. Same as last week with the Valspar. Didn't play it during COVID. This is a classic Carolina golf course. Tree-lined, narrow sight lines, plenty of dog legs, and an absolute beast of a track. One of the longest on the PGA Tour. We were really introduced to Rory Mcilroy, the tour winner at the Wells Fargo at Quail Hollow. Got his first victory here. Justin Thomas, also his first major championship at the PGA. This is going to be another tough track.
Yeah, it's with only having 3 par 5s on this. It's surprisingly longer than most other courses on tour. I mean, you've got 3 par 4s that are over 500 yards. You've got a 4th and a 5th par 4 that are 495, so almost 500 yards. I mean, it is an extremely, extremely long course. The big hitters are going to have a lot of say this week. The par 5s, though, even for the shorter hitters, these par 5s are scoreable. You've got to take advantage of these par 5s. But as you said, par 71, 7,500 yards. You got Bermuda greens that are going to play firm, very firm, 12 to 13 on the stimp meter. And you've got a little bit of ryegrass, rough Bermuda fairways. And the interesting part of this one is the green mile, the 3 holes to finish. Some of the best, like we had last week with the snake pit. This week we've got the green mile. You got started off with a 512-yard par 4, entire left side of the landing zone and into the green. You've got water. The next par 3, 225 yards, and you've got water surrounding 70% of the green, and then a creek running straight down the middle of a par 4, 495 yards to end it. I mean, it's going to be
an uphill approach.
What's that?
18 with that uphill approach.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And that creek and being 495 yards, that's this is a 3-hole stretch that's made for the drama.
From the snake pit to the green mile, Quail Hollow is definitely not a get-right course. You better be coming in here with a little bit of form because it's been known to beat some guys up a little bit. Again, as mentioned, lengthy course. That stretch through the green mile is particularly difficult for a finishing stretch, much like we saw last week. But this is potentially going to be a little bit different than what we've been looking at here the past few weeks. T-Mac, what stats are you considering as you look to build out for the Wells Fargo?
I mean, I think Kello alluded to it, ShallowCal. I think this course favors the big hitters. You can hit out of the rough, too, on your second shot at approach. So there's really 2 things I'm looking for, the driving distance and the guys that can scramble. So, greens and regulation will also be important because I think that kind of will go along with the scrambling. Guys that might, overpower the course like Bryson. Might not have it in the fairway, but as long as you can get it on the dance floor after that drive, you're going to be in good shape.
ShallowCal, what about you? What are you looking at?
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head with the driving statistics. I'm going to look at putting this week because, as you saw last week, you can be a guy like Justin Thomas and you can absolutely play a course perfectly from tee to green. And once you get on that green, if you can't putt, you're not going to be in contention. I mean, Sam Burns, the putter, was just absolutely on fire, and Justin Thomas was arguably much better tee to green than Burns was, but he couldn't putt. So the randomness of putting is definitely a thing, but I think whoever has the hot putter this week with these firm greens, if you can get it rolling right, you're going to be good.
You gotta have a guy who can at least catch a hot putter if he's got a great putter. This is a good place to maybe play some of those streakier guys who come in with a little course history, a little bit of form, and who maybe aren't near the top of the charts in putting. But I do agree, putting's a stat I'm focused on this week as well. You both mentioned it. Driving distance, biggest one for me. Big hitters rue the day here. I say that, and I'm going to give you a little bit of a left turn on my card, but if you're building for chalk, driving distance where it's at, another pure ball strikers course, long irons, 175 plus. I want guys to be dialed in on the approach and got to come in with some hot irons here. As mentioned, got to be able to putt a little bit as well. Anything else? Anything else we need to consider or any potential traps around Quail Hollow?
A lot of traps, but not anything stats wise. No.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, let's get to the picks. We're going to do it as we always do, outright picks. We'll kind of go up and down the odds board, starting with the shortest odds and then making our way all the way to T-Max tickets at the other end of the odds boards. We are recording on a Monday night, so several of the books don't have top 5, top 10 odds on them. Again, we're going to run through our outrights, but you can find our full cards that we'll post before First Tee Balls Thursday on the Twitter account at Right Click Picks. We've got links to a spreadsheet that's going to detail all of our picks historically for the year, where we stand, plus minus units wagered and won. ShallowCal, anybody for you near the top of the odds boards? We'll call it 19 to 1 or below.
I got your 19 to 1 on the money with Xander. He is a little guy, but he is a big hitter. So I'm gonna put my ducks in his boat this week. And then I wasn't necessarily in love with this number, but you see guys make a change week to week in putting, and something just clicks, or they're focused on it that much more that they put it that much better. Give me Justin Thomas 11 to 1, and I even put a unit and a half on him.
I like that bounce back. Definitely one of his happy places, as mentioned, winning the 27 PGA Championship at Quail Hollow. T-Mac, near the top of the odds boards for you, all the way up to 19 to 1.
Yeah, so I had a couple this week that I just wanted to kind of, bet some that I think, even though they don't have the best odds, have a good chance. So I have John Rahm at 10 to 1. I put 2 units on him, and then a big amount of units, 5 units on Bryson DeChambeau at 14 to 1.
Feeling good about win number 3 for Bryson, huh?
I am. I think this is the tournament that is prime for the picking for him, with the conditions that we're going to be looking at. It's going to be pretty dry out there, but we'll have thunderstorms the first 3 days out there. So I think he's just going to go out there. He's going to plug a couple of these drives, and we're going to be looking at another Bryson win.
Got a little bit of course history too. He's got a T4 finish at Quail Hollow previously, I think in maybe 2018 or 2017. Mm-hmm. So I think there's going to be Bryson's going to be chalky near the top of the board, but I like that pick. He checks all the boxes. Only nobody for me in that range, but I will lead us off on the next set. We'll go 20s to 30s. The way I'm building my card this week, first and foremost, is a little bit of a combination. This event plays to favorites, but it also plays to long shots. So I've got my card built where I've got some guys at the top of the board, and then I've got some long plays coming with some each ways. I'm also splitting my card between bombers and shorter hitters. Although bombers do rue the day at Quail Hollow, we've seen shorter hitters win before here. I'll give you a few names shortly, but one of them, as Callow mentioned, not Xander Schauffele. One of the longer hitters on tour at number 25. I got him at 20 to 1. Good record at Quail Hollow. Performed well here. I believe a number 2 finish in the PGA Championship, if I'm not confusing that with a previous Wells Fargo. I like Xander a lot for my first pick at the top of the odds boards. T-Mac, back to you, 20s to 30s.
Just my boy Victor Hovland. Got him at 20 to 1. And this week, how I did my cards was I just kind of picked my, 5 or 6 favorite guys and threw quite a few different unit variations on them. And then I did a couple T-Max tickets. So I got 3 units on Victor this week at 20 to 1.
I like it. I looked hard at Victor. He was one of 4 names I considered in that 20 to 30 range. How about you, ShallowCal?
I got 3 guys. I'll start with the shortest, Tony Finau at 31 to 1. He's one of those guys that it's got to come. Like Bermuda Burns last week. Tony, it's coming, and then the floodgate is just going to open. After that, at 36 to 1, I have both Joaquin Niemann and Max Homa. Max was on fire about 75% of last week. If he can turn that into 100% fire, he's going to win this tournament.
I believe I saw this correctly that he was in the 400s in the official world golf ranking when he won his maiden tour PGA Tour victory at Quail Hollow. Hell of a number there. A little bit shorter this week, I'm sure, but still a little bit of value on Homa, you think, huh?
Yeah, I do. He was up there a little bit higher last week, but with form, with course history, um, I think he can definitely take this one home. And I think 36 to 1 isn't necessarily the worst odds. And I honestly was shocked that he was 75 to 1 last week. I mean, absolutely
Big
shocked.
number.
Yeah.
So a couple plays for me in the 30s as well. I mentioned him earlier, but I'm going back to the well on Patrick Reed after he let me down last week with the missed cut. Got him at 30 to 1 with an each way, and he's a guy who historically plays well off a missed cut. I mean, this year already, he won the Farmers a week after missing the cut at the Amex. He's also got a great track record at Quail Hollow. He plays well on tough courses, and I just think 30 to 1 is a really inflated number. I mean, we're not getting into, the level of ridiculousness of a 20 to 1 on Justin Thomas, the players, but Patrick Reed is still a major champion, and we're getting a number on him in the 30s, and of course he's played well at. Give it to me all day with the each way. I got that one, I believe, to 5 places at 1/4. One more in the 30s for me. I should have learned my lesson last week. All the chalk, all the trends, everybody picking Russell Henley and Corey Connors, as did I, and they both came up flat. Everybody's on Big Willie Z this week, but I can't stay away at 33 to 1 with an each way. Ball striker extraordinaire, long off the tee in the top 20. Very, very hungry for a win in permanent status. Also played at Wake Forest just down the road from Charlotte. And he's taken 2 weeks off. He's kind of become the new Iron Man, the new Sung Jae Im on tour because he's just got to play every week and, just bust through that wall of points if he's not gonna get a win. So I like the motivation. I like Willie Z a lot at 33 to 1. T-Mac, middle guys for you, or did you say you're off until the triple digits?
Nope. I got a 30, a 40, and a 50. So at 33 to 1, I got Corey Connors, two units on him this week.
Okay.
Nice.
Corey for the bounce back, huh?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, take us into the 40s.
I got our boy Max Homa, 40 to 1, two units on Max.
Nice.
Okay. So you and ShallowCal, a little team action there on Max Homa.
Always. He has not let me down in the past. So happy at the number 40 to 1. I liked those odds, so jumped on them.
That's nice.
All right. ShallowCal, 40s for you.
Nothing.
50s?
Nothing for me up until I got Russell Henley at 66 to 1 with an each way.
Okay. T-Mac, you said you had a 50s?
I do. I've got Bubba Watson, 50 to 1. I got 3 units on Bubba this week. I think this is a course he predominantly plays pretty well at, if I'm not mistaken. And again, just as a powerhouse, man. He drives the ball very, very well. I'm feeling very, very good about him. He's 37th or so in driving distance. That T26 at the Masters, followed by the T13 at Valspar. Definitely trending in the right direction. Definitely tipping Bubba this week.
Bubba is a guy who I think as much as anybody would love one more shot at the Ryder Cup, particularly on American soil at Whistling Straits. And this is probably his last real legitimate chance. And there's a number of ways that he can get there. There is one clear-cut way to stamp his card. If he gets a victory, he is playing on the Ryder Cup this year. So I like that pick a lot. Bubba's going to be highly motivated these next couple of weeks. I think this is a course that really suits his eye with a lot of those dog legs. Nothing for me until we get to triple digits. I think you're in that boat as well, ShallowCal. Anything else for you before triple digits, T-Mac?
Nope, just my T-Max tickets.
All right. Well, we'll save those for last. ShallowCal, tell me your longest plays.
So my longest plays, I've got Lucas Glover at 80 to 1. He has won here before, as well as my longest ticket, JB Holmes, 350 to 1.
Woo! Ooh.
Yeah, that's
Maybe.
T-Mac tickets territory.
You,
And then
you got the T-Mac ticket this week, yeah.
Oh,
and
just
then my
wait.
guy HV3, Harold Varner the third, I have him at 90-1.
Okay. Well, I mentioned that I kind of split my card this week. I stacked at the top of the board with a 20-1 and then a few in the 30s. Went the complete opposite way to finish it out. I've got two golfers at 125-1, both with an each way. I start with Joel Damon. Again, not your
Thought
prototypical
about
player
that.
for, yeah, only 3 weeks or three tournaments removed from his last victory. Not your prototypical player for Quail Hollow, not the longest off the tee, but he's got an awesome record here. He was second the last time it was played in 2019, 16th in 2018. As mentioned, got that win at Corrales. I think he's just riding a little bit of magic right now, and with an each way, that number is just too big. So I like Joel Damon a lot at 125-1. My second one, Francesco Molinari at 125-1. Another.
Dog.
Another sort of course horse here. 17th in 2016, second in the 2017 PGA Championship. So I think I did confuse that, saying that was Xander earlier. That was actually Francesco Molinari with the runner-up finish at the PGA Championship. Guy that's not particularly long off the course. He's been up and down the last couple weeks, but his good form is close enough where I'm not worried with Quail Hollow. I've got one more that I'll save to throw in with T-Mac's tickets. So we'll kick it back to you, T-Mac. Where are the lottery tickets being purchased this week?
So I got my three. I've got Tom Hoagie at 150-1. I got a 1 unit bet on him. I've got Johnny 200 200-1, 1 unit bet on him. And my boy Benny on 250-1. I got a 1 unit bet on him.
I actually took a long, hard look at Benny on too, and I just couldn't pull the trigger. But those are nice numbers and a place that he could play well. He's a big hitter, and obviously, you can crush around Quail Hollow. So I've got one T-Max ticket as well as mentioned, 200-1 Luke List. I'm going with a half point each way play on Luke. Little bit of course history, 16th in 2013, is one of the longest hitters on tour at number 7. Just feels like a week he could pop for a place. I'm not necessarily thinking he's going to get the first career tour victory here, but again, with 6 places at 200-1, I think that's some pretty good value.
Yeah.
Anything else for either one of you up and down the cards at this point on a Monday night?
No, I gotta wait for BetMGM to actually release some more stuff because as of right now, you can only bet outrights. And will there be a playoff?
All right, well, that just means got to check the Twitters for the rest of those cards this week. Again, at Right Click Picks. We link to our spreadsheets for both the European Tour and the PGA Tour, so you can track all of our picks for the year, where we're going this week, any ads, as T-Mac mentioned. Gentlemen, before we get out of here, let's do as we've done the past couple weeks, layer on some quick European Tour talk. The Old World Circuit is in the Canary Islands for a third consecutive week at the Canary Island Championships. Gulf Coast Adahe again, back-to-back events following the Tenerife Open last week. Birdie making is the name of the game. Short resort-style course, par 71, tips at 68.57, past Palom fairways, Tiff Eagle Bermuda grass, redone since the 2003 Open de España. 5 par 5, 6 par 3s, 7 par 4s. We lost a few names the past weekend, a few big names the past 2 weeks with Sam Horsfield, Adrian Rosner, Adrian Moronic, all pulling out of the third leg. But there's still some names. Not a lot of value at the top of the board this week, but ShallowCal, I know you still like a few of those names.
Yeah, I've got Garrick Higo and Callum Hill near the top of the leaderboards. Garrick at 12-1, and then Callum Hill at 28-1. Got those guys each way to place up to 6th as well. So, man, Garrick, this dude can put the birdies up fast and pile them on.
That's a young birdie making machine.
Yeah, that's a young birdie making machine right there. With this course, like we've said before, this guy could really go low, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him knock this whole thing down.
I mean, he's in my eyes, he is the clear-cut favorite this week, and I would be on him with you. I just can't go that low on that number. But he's a guy that's got a lot to play for as well. He's playing for a spot in the U.S. Open. I mean, top 60 as of the two draws that happen here the next couple of weeks leading up to the Open, U.S. Open, get you in. And he's hanging right around that number. I think he's 45, 47, 48, somewhere right now. So another big finish probably cements that for him. A lot of motivation there, but again, just too short of a number for me. I love young Garrick Higo, the young South African, so he wins it. I'm totally behind it, totally behind you.
Playing with Louis Oosthuizen in the WGC, or the not the WGC, but the Zurich soon.
You think so?
Maybe when he's got his card and Louis needs a partner.
Man, Louis and Charles are pretty damn. He's old, but those two are tight, man. They've known each other their whole lives. I don't know if you're breaking up that South African duo. He may have to go grab your boy Christian Bezuidenhout, form a new tandem.
Oh my God, I would throw the lot on those guys.
T-Mac, you dipped your toe in Euro last week with your first 3 bets. Anything for you this time around, Canary Island Championships?
Yeah, I have 3 just 1 unit bets again. So I have Arnos at 25 to 1, Waring at 50 to 1, and Garcia Rodriguez at 125 to 1.
Man, I was so pissed about. I wasn't pissed in the way he played. He played great, and I was happy for him. I was pissed that it was a week early on Sergio Garcia Rodriguez. 2 weeks ago in Gran Canaria, he was the only one of my 5 golfers who didn't make it to the weekend. And then I got to sit there and watch him all week just shoot up the leaderboard, got as high as number 2 this past week. He actually missed on the place money. I think he finished 8th or 9th. But man, he caught fire. I like that pick a lot. And I like the fact that they left him at 125 to 1. That's actually where I got him 3 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Adrian Arnos, definitely a popular pick. I love the Paul Waring pick at 50 to 1 as well. A guy who charged on the weekend, really put up some nice rounds. Gonna be feeling good going back to the course. I'm keeping it small this week. Again, not a great week for me on Euro, so I've got some longer shots as well. I just don't love the top of the odds boards. Everybody is short this week. Some guys that are probably a lot shorter than they will be for some weeks now with the stretch we're getting into with the British Masters upcoming. So I've only got 5 plays, but small plays on each. 1 point each way on Chris Paisley, 50 to 1. Didn't play the first 2 legs in the Canary Islands. Should be fresh. Excellent putter who can make birdies when he needs to. Next guy burned me last week, and I see there's already questions about whether or not he's in the field this week. But I'm going to try again. 1 point each way on Nicholas Lemke at 66 to 1. A guy who has played incredibly well when he's played the last 4 months. It's just been completely hit or miss. Ran into some COVID exposure here last couple of weeks. So again, a pretty big number if he does come back. Then a couple half point each way plays for me. Grant Forrest at 100 to 1. Had a 7 under round on Sunday to finish top 20. Really looked good in the weekend. Long number there. David Horsey, 100 to 1, half point each way. Again, a guy who can putt, get hot when he needs to. And then I've got one final ultimate T-Max tickets.
Okay.
I am going with a true Powerball lottery ticket on Tom Mckibben at 600 to 1.
Wow.
Only a .25 each way play. Again, don't believe he has a realistic shot to win this tournament, but at 600 to 1, a quarter of a point. The young Northern Ireland golfer missed the cut last week. Got the exemption to get back in this week. He's got all the talent in the world, and in a course like this, where a lot of people can score a lot of different ways in these resort-style greens, let's see what old Tom Mckibben can do.
Like it. Love the T-Mac ticket.
Oh, man, that's going to become a thing. We're going to put together a graphic for you to enter your T-Max tickets so we can start tweeting them out.
Absolutely.
So one final plug there. A reminder, you can see all of our picks for the Wells Fargo Championship and the Canary Islands Championship by following at RightClickPicks on Twitter. Also follow the 3 of us on Twitter at SportsGuyTy, at ShallowCal Golf, and at Trevor McElwain. As always, goal is making paper, gentlemen. Let's get out there and right-click print money for the masses. Cheers.
Cheers.